Can you hear it? It is the only law that governs this city now. There is no music, no cheers, not even the cries of the suffering. Only the sound of hundreds of bodies violently striking the cobblestones, shattering the silence of Strasbourg. Look at the woman dancing before you. Her heels are shredded, painting a dark crimson trail across the square. Her eyes no longer reflect the light of this world. The white froth spilling from her lips is the only sign of the life she has left. Yet, she does not stop. She moves like a broken marionette, jerked by invisible threads. Welcome to Strasbourg, 1518. You are standing in the center of a living hell, abandoned by God. Strasbourg, a city on the banks of the Rhine that once prided itself on its freedom within the Holy Roman Empire. But in 1518, there is no freedom to be found. What you see here is a distortion, the jagged edge where the shadows of the Middle Ages collide with the rising light of the Renaissance. Above, the sky is choked by gray clouds from record-shattering frosts. Below, the starving chew on mud instead of bread. While the printing press had begun to spread new knowledge, the hearts of the people remained shackled by ancient superstitions and the terror of divine punishment, hunger, disease, and relentless exploitation. The air in this city is thick with a psychological poison, waiting for a single spark to ignite. Why are they so afraid? To the people of this time, this dance was no mere illness. It was a death sentence handed down by a vengeful saint, Saint Vitus. Medieval lore spoke of a curse, that those who insulted the saint would be condemned to dance until they perished. When the first person began to sway, it was more than a spectacle. It was a sign that the judgment had arrived for someone in this city. The curse is contagious, and you fear you may be next. The rhythmic stomping of the crowd is not an act of support. It is a desperate ritual to prove their obedience, a frantic attempt to show the saint they are not the ones to be chosen next. Faith has ceased to be a refuge. It has become a suffocating mask for terror. Weeks have passed. The summer heat carries the stench of decay and the metallic tang of blood. Look at the body of the man dancing near you. He is no longer moving of his own will. His flesh has rebelled, grinding his own bones and forcing his joints to scream as he remains locked in a violent, uncontrollable sprint to nowhere. This is no graceful waltz. It is a silent torture, destroying the self from within. The mind shrieks for a moment of rest, but the feet continue their merciless assault on the stones. You will realize then, it is not a merciful God who rules this city. It is something much darker, something far more ancient. Faced with this carnage, the physicians and priests finally took action. To solve the mystery, they blended the medicine of the age with a distorted theology to craft a fatal answer. Their blood has grown too hot, they claimed. They must dance it out. They must move until the heat is purged. They were dangerously sincere. Because they believed so fervently in their flawed science, their cure became unstoppable. The city hired musicians and professional strongmen to serve as supports. They grabbed those collapsing from exhaustion, dragging them back into the frenzy, forcing the steps to continue. The passion of those who believed they were saving lives turned the square into a relentless machine of despair. Centuries have passed since the tragedy of Strasbourg. Can we afford to laugh at this as a relic of an uncivilized era? In 1962, Tanzania saw a laughing epidemic that infected over 1,000 people. In 2012, high school students in New York began to twitch and scream in unison. These events were caused by no virus, no bacteria, only extreme psychological stress. Modern science calls it mass psychogenic illness. When the mind can no longer bear its burden, it overflows into the language of the body, infecting everyone in its path. The fire that burned through Strasbourg 500 years ago has not been extinguished. It is still there, waiting in the deep recesses of our brains for its next victim. Eventually, as the cold winds of autumn began to blow, the sound of the feet stopped as abruptly as it had begun. Those who survived collapsed into the mud, unable to remember what they had done or why. Why did they not all dance until they died? Why were these few allowed to return from the brink? Was it a toxin, a virus, or a collective nightmare of the mind? No matter how many words we use, the core of what they saw that summer remains unreachable. History has discarded this event as an unsolvable anomaly, burying it in silence. The footsteps that filled Strasbourg 500 years ago have faded into history. But listen closely. Listen to the beat of your own heart in this quiet room. Is that rhythm truly yours? In our modern world, are we not also being forced to dance, driven by invisible trends, by a competition that never allows us to stop? If your toes are twitching now, just slightly without your consent, is that a sign of your freedom? Or is it